this is how I started my YouTube channel with $0. I'm sure you guys love watching YouTube and you've seen so many creators out there with big fancy studios and you've thought to yourself, damn, I really want to be like them, but I don't know how or even have the money to build something like that. Well, I started YouTube 2 years ago with just an iPhone in my hands, and fast forward to today, I'm still using the similar things because they work so well for me. So in this video, I'm going to share the 5 tips that will help you guys start your own YouTube channel as well. So the very first thing we're going to talk about is the infinity stones of YouTube. So when you see a video get posted on YouTube itself, it's a 10-minute kind of video and you really look at a video on your For You page and you kind of just look at it and it looks a very simple video, right? You look like you just turn on the camera, you just talk to it, and you just kind of freestyle and everything like that, and then boom, a 10-minute video comes up, nicely edited and everything like that. But the truth is, it doesn't work that way. The 5 infinity stones of YouTube would be idea generation, scripting, filming, editing, and lastly post-production. So there's so many things that go into it, and if you're doing it by yourself, you're basically a whole YouTube kind of team all into one person, and you have to go through all these 5 different aspects. It's not as easy as just freestyling, turning on the camera like this, and then just talking to the camera, and boom, a 10-minute video kind of comes out. It doesn't work that way. So in order to start a YouTube channel, you have to master these 5 basic things. You usually will start off with thinking and brainstorming of the ideas. That's why it's called idea generation, and that usually takes quite a bit of time because you want to research the title or the thumbnails and stuff like that, and basically the idea that you're churning out is something that people are interested to watch or things that you personally are interested in. After that, you go on to the next step, which is the scripting part. So after you have already finalized the idea, you kind of know what it is that you want to talk about, then you have to kind of put it into a script form. So some people like the word by word kind of script where they are really just typing every single word out and then just reading from the script itself. Myself, I used to do that. Nowadays, I tend to prefer freestyling a little bit, which means that I will have bullet points on my laptop itself over here, right here, and then I just kind of have a brief look and then I come back to it and then I just kind of talk about what I think would be the best thing that I can really talk about in that sense. So usually that also involves quite a lot of things where you're really talking about all the things, the contents of your video, and basically this is a talking head video. You can also have other kinds of videos where you're going out to do things, action stuff, and basically you just want to have a rough outline and plan of how your video is going to be like, and then you just go ahead and talk about it. After that, you're going to go into the filming part. This is where you set up your camera, this is where you kind of set up your lights a little bit, your microphone as well, and then you really find a nice background like this anywhere at home, and then you just kind of start talking in that sense, making sure that everything is quite visible, and then you are really looking quite pleasant on camera as well. And then this is how you can get comfortable with talking on the camera as well. And then after that, you're going to go into, after the filming is done, you're going to go into the editing part. So this is where you export and really transfer all your files into your laptop itself, and from there itself you're going to start editing, and from there afterwards, once you're done with all the fancy edits and all that kind of things, then the post-production, which is when you get to post it on YouTube, TikTok, or any other things like that. That's where these whole 5 things come into play in that sense, these 5 infinity stones. So since idea generation and scripting are just all on your mind, you know, you can do it on your laptop, they're all totally free, then we should talk about some of the things that might affect you guys, which is number 2, which is filming. So for filming, you don't need a fancy camera. A strong camera is basically something that you guys already hold in your hands right now. The thing that you cannot leave the house without, and the thing that is constantly buzzing you and really distracting you all the time, which is the phone in your hand in that sense. You really just need this camera, and I'm actually filming right now with my iPhone 13, and you guys just need your camera on your phone itself and you can really start filming. So I basically started YouTube 2 years ago with a cheap tripod and a cheap mic. I'm still using this mic right now, which is right over here. So this is just some things that I started off with. Not completely for free, but it's a very, very low budget. I think in total I only spent around 30 to 40 bucks to get these 2 items, and then my phone, you know, you just kind of use whatever phone you have, so that's completely free. But if you guys want to just start off with your phone itself, that's also quite cool, right? You can really film like a video on your phone just by holding it in like a vertical format, which is just like this. As when you're using your phone, you can just kind of film a video and just walk around talking to people, or really just holding it sort of stationary and just talk to people. Or you can also use another cheaper format, which is you turn it up to like sort of a horizontal. You put it on, let's say, a table, stack up with some books, and then make sure that you're facing the camera, the front facing camera facing you, and then you're just kind of talking around it. And you don't need any fancy kind of edits, just make sure that you have some decent lighting. Make sure you're near a window. Don't let the window be behind you because all the light will be just facing your camera. You won't be able to see anything. So these are some basic things that you can really do, and you can really get started today with $0. But if you want to kind of upgrade yourself a little bit, you can, you know, feel free to really just spend a little bit of money, get a mic, get a good tripod where you see I have a tripod over here. I don't have to touch anything, I don't have to hold anything, I don't have to be afraid that it will kind of fall off as well. So that's pretty nice. Of course, after the filming part will come a very, very natural part, which is editing, right? So editing is something that a lot of people struggle with, and people don't know what they can do. But basically, there are tons of apps out there that cost money, like Final Cut Pro, Adobe Premiere Pro, and these are used by pros out there who really use editing software like this in order to produce very, very well-polished videos on YouTube. But this is a secret tip. For the last 2 years, I've been using this free free app which is called DaVinci Resolve. This is actually a computer software just like Final Cut Pro and Adobe Premiere Pro, but it's completely free. It has all the basic functions that you need to really get started. And honestly, any editing sort of classes that you learn, all the basic things you can also sort of just transfer over to any editing software. There are some differences, but more or less the basics are about the same. So you probably don't need any fancy edits as well, because I'm guessing if you guys are starting YouTube right now, you probably don't know how to use a lot of the very fancy editing kind of tricks anyway. So DaVinci Resolve is just enough. The free version is just enough for you guys to really get started and to start some of the basic editing. Another one, if you want to use your phone to do editing, would be CapCut. So CapCut is also something that I've been recently introduced to, which is really very interesting because it's totally free, but it has very good functions and it's actually very easy to use, and you can use it right from your phone itself. You can edit a video out, and then what you can do is also CapCut has this very awesome thing. So for a lot of people, you're doing like short form content, you really usually see the captions are really appearing, like the words at the bottom. When as people are talking, the words really come out. CapCut has this very awesome kind of feature. When you press onto it, it has auto caption, so throughout your entire video, the words just come out itself. You don't even have to manually put in word by word itself. It completely broke the game in that sense, but you just have to make sure that the words are accurate. So you can go in and just do some basic editing to make sure that the words are accurate. Then you can change the text, the font sizes and everything like that. Make sure that everything is really quite nice, and this is really a very big addition. I think that really broke the game for most people. But most of you will be asking me, oh, but however, having these free editing apps, you probably be asking yourself, or you'll be asking me, but I don't know how to edit, so what do I do now? Then it brings me to the next thing, which is Skillshare classes. Basically, you can take any online classes to really upgrade yourself, to make sure that you know how to do some of these things. So one of these things that I used to do would be taking online courses on Skillshare itself. How it's going to work is that you probably just have to sign up for a couple of months, maybe 2-3 months. Usually the sign up is free and you can really use it for 2-3 months, and then you have online courses over there that you can really sign up for. One of them that I really would advocate for is Ali Abdaal's Final Cut Pro Skillshare editing course. You can really learn almost everything from there, then transfer over to whatever apps that you are using. Most things will actually work quite smoothly, and you really can learn editing in as short as almost 1 weekend. Yeah, so then it's like very easy. You can just kind of learn, and then you can really just start editing almost like the next week in that sense, and really start practicing, because I think the more you practice, the better you get editing. You don't become pro editors just one day itself, or you can't learn pro editing just from a course itself. You really have to practice, and it's completely for free, because for the first 2-3 months they won't charge you anything at all. Just make sure that on the few days before the membership kind of expires, you go in and then you try to cancel for the membership. But when you cancel for membership, this is one bonus tip. When you cancel, they will likely give you 1 free month in order to incentivize you to really continue the Skillshare class. Click on that, continue that free month, and then set a date for when that month itself it expires. Then you cancel the membership. So that will give you a good 3 to 4 months of learning how to edit. So you can really learn it as quickly as 1 weekend if you really put in all the effort. But if you want to stretch it out over a longer period of time, 2-3 months, 3-4 months, that will be more than enough time for you to start editing, or rather learn editing, and there'll be no excuse for you to not know how to edit by then. The last and final tip will be the most important one, which is consistency. Consistency would be the most important part of starting a whole YouTube channel, because I think you see a lot of videos on YouTube and they're all on your sort of explore page, and you really see they have few 100,000 views, they have tens of thousands of views, millions of views sometimes, like Mr. Beast and stuff like that. But that is not the reality of most YouTubers in that sense. Most of the time, whatever that you post, like this video for example, I don't know how many views you would get, but most of the time when you post on something on YouTube, you probably won't get much views in the sense. So you cannot expect your things will go viral, your things will just immediately just kind of take off and you'll be monetized and you'll be able to earn all this money from YouTube. It doesn't work that way. I've heard this phrase from one of my instructors recently, which is virality is nothing but a speed boost. You basically, when a video of yours goes viral, you basically just get a speed boost in a sense where you get more subscribers, more view counts, but it will stall after a while. But most importantly is, in order to continue your YouTube journey, you need to be consistent. You need to be posting videos every single week, or every other day, in order to make sure that your channel kind of continues to stay relevant and you can continue to pull in views and subscribers and stuff like that. And I think doing YouTube is like a long journey in that sense, where you have to be in it for the long game. You cannot just start off right today and then you want to sort of get monetized and want to get successful the next week itself. It doesn't work that way. Personally, for myself, my goal is that I started YouTube a little bit over 2 years ago, but that was a previous channel. This channel itself, I started it about 6 months ago, and my plan is actually to do YouTube for the next 10 years, and I want to hit about 100,000 subscribers in 10 years itself. I'm saying this challenge sort of publicly out loud in this video itself, but this is my personal challenge and I'm in it for the long game. So for you guys who are getting started on YouTube as well, I really want to urge you guys to really think of the long game and really push a little bit further as well. Don't think of this as a short-term game. If you want to get into it seriously, get to it properly, and really just have fun along the way, so that at least you make it sustainable, you can do it for a long period of time. If you enjoyed this video and you found it helpful, then this video right here on the 5 reasons why you should buy Ali Abdaal's $1,000 YouTube course tutorials today will be super helpful to level up your YouTube game as well. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next few videos. Bye bye!